Fly belly up.
This is the game. It's cat and mouse.
Smoked a turkey.
Yes. He is down. He is freaking down.
Said he shot an absolute giant.
Fall obsession, baby.
What is up, guys? Welcome to another Fall Obsession podcast. I will be your host today, Nick Powell, Media Production Manager with Fall Obsession. I am joined today by our CEO, Sam Thrash.
What's up, guys?
And then we got a special guest today, a surprise guest, kind of last minute thrown together, Dillon Gossett. What's up, man?
What's going on, man?
Glad to have you on. Guys, you know the drill, Elite Archery. This podcast is brought to you by those guys. I don't know if you haven't checked out Elite Archery, you need to, because those guys are awesome. We shoot elite bows. Sam, I know you're shooting the Cure.
Shooting the Cure. Love it, man. It's bad to the bone. Most tunable bow I've ever run, for sure, without a shadow of a doubt.
That set technology is something else.
It's something else. And Elite recently launched their teaser video for their 2021 lineup, and at the time this was coming out, it may already be out, but their new Encore, man, I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
2021 would be pretty sweet.
Well, I'm shooting the Ritual, and we are coming to you guys today from deer camp, really.
Yeah.
And I don't know if y'all can hear the crickets in the background. I'm sure you can, but it is nighttime. We are in deer camp right now, and me and Dillon were able to get some tags for WMA here in Texas. So we're trying to lay them down out here. Dillon, you had any luck yet?
No, not yet.
Us either.
It's been tough. Of course, this is my second, I guess, place that I've ever hunted, public, and it'll humble you real quick.
Absolutely.
And let you know just how tough it can be.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a fact. I know we've been humbled for sure. I know we had big expectations when we came out here.
Man, we did have big expectations, and for those of you who don't know, Nick's hunting. I'm running camera for him.
Yep.
We talked about it in a previous episode a little bit, just about kind of our initial thoughts coming out here the first couple hunts, and we're basically following that episode up with this one hunt later. Still nothing on the ground. So
yeah, exactly.
It's a couple pigs.
Yeah.
A couple pigs, but we didn't even see anything tonight, man. It's been rough. But Dillon, you've at least seen some.
I saw a few deer today, but nothing like I did yesterday afternoon.
Yeah.
It was a lot better, but it's still tough.
Yeah, it's tough, and it's hot and humid because we had a little bit of rain today, so it's gotten a little muggy out here.
That's hurt us a lot, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. But anyways, the whole reason for this podcast, Dillon, I know you're a fishing guide.
Yep.
Professional.
I'm no professional.
Old pro over here.
I give everything I got, though.
Big time.
That's all you can.
Fire department's just a side gig.
Yeah.
So I'd like to. Oh yeah. By the way, for those of you who don't know, me and Sam and Dillon are all firefighter paramedics. So we had the fortunate meeting. Me and Sam were in paramedic school, and we did our ride-outs with the agency that Dillon works with, and so we all met that way. And now we didn't even know that Dillon was going to be out here, and he just happened to show up at the same time I did. So we got to meet up, and I've been wanting to get you on the podcast for a while anyways, but this just worked out. So anyways, let's start with your background and kind of where you started when you were a kid, how you grew up, how you got started in hunting. In fishing, I guess, for that matter.
Yeah, I guess it all started with fishing first. My dad and his dad got me into fishing very early age, of course, and of course my grandpa taught me how to throw my first bait cast. So it kind of started from there, and then as I was about 10 or 12, my dad started guiding, and it just kind of grew from there. I watched him guide throughout the years while I was growing up, playing ball all the time. He'd be gone on the weekends fishing. So what do? I'm gone on the weekends every weekend fishing. And if I'm not fishing, I'm hunting. So
that's awesome.
Except for this time of year, it's kind of tough because I want to do both. And there's not enough time in the month of October.
Yeah, the busy month for you?
Yeah. Yeah, it really picks up October. Of course, it's good year-round. It just depends on, what we're going after.
Yeah.
So
So your preference is fishing.
pretty much, yeah. And then I've been fishing my whole life, and then I got into hunting, I guess, beginning of high school.
Okay.
I just joined a group of buddies, and we went duck hunting everywhere. And then we went deer hunting together, and then it just grew from there.
Nice. That's awesome. So how'd you get started in guiding? Is it just something you just wanted to do?
Yeah, it's something I knew I was going to do. You know, watching Dad, you know, when I first realized I was going to college, you know, did the whole 2-year EMT fire school with every intention, I'm going to have, 2 days off. I can fish on those days.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm going to be fishing anyway, so why not, turn it into something productive?
Yeah.
So, and a lot of times I get more thrill out of watching someone catch fish than me just catch fish.
Okay.
So
yeah, I've heard a lot of guys say that. That even in the hunting world, they'll take guys hunting, and
Yep.
and they get just as much joy out of seeing somebody kill something.
Yeah, what do you think I'm doing right now?
Yeah. Yeah, you came along, helped the brother out for sure. Do you have a certain species of fish that you guide for, or is it just kind of everything around here?
So I would guess this year is my first full year that I've been guiding. So I've mainly been concentrating on crappie fishing, and I can pretty much do that year round.
Okay.
Now I'll go and chase, white bass, hybrids, and stripers, but that's, more seasonal for me, March to July probably.
Gotcha.
And so, but for the most part, crappie fishing is what I love to do, and that's what I grew up doing, and, that's what Dad guides for, and that's kind of what I learned starting out.
So you said your dad guides as well?
Yeah, we got on the same lakes. We got on Lake Fork and Lake Tawakoni.
Gotcha.
I spend most of my time on Lake Fork crappie fishing just because it's just a great, just a great lake for just about anything. But if I'm going to go, stripers, hybrid stripers like that, I've got to go to Tawakoni.
Yeah.
But they're two completely different lakes, and I just happen to live right in the middle of them.
Okay.
So
tell us kind of how a day in the life of a guide works. How, from start to finish, how when you book a customer, I guess, how do you partake?
It mainly just depends on, how they reach me. I have a Facebook page and stuff like that. That seems to be my main form of contact. And then sometimes by word of mouth, so I'll get a phone call saying, hey, I want to go fishing. When's the best time? Or this is what I want to go after. And then we kind of go from there. But yeah, as long as I have, a couple days notice, I'm pretty good and pretty flexible. With our schedule, I'm part-time, but I have the ability to be full-time with that job pretty much.
Right.
Yeah.
Since I still have, 4 or 5 days off during the week.
Yeah.
So, I can be as busy as I need to be, but,
Nice.
so I'm going to be fishing anyway, so.
Might as well
Why
take
not?
somebody,
Exactly.
have somebody pay you to go with you.
Exactly.
You take them to all your secret spots.
Yeah, I guess, if they're going to pay the money to, catch fish, I got to take them to the good spots.
Right, yeah. Guess that's how it goes.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I don't want you to give away all your secrets, but what kind of equipment are you using?
So this year I've picked up a rod sponsor. I use Todd Huckabee rods.
Okay.
So I fish them, and they're great for crappie fishing. Now, if I'm going hybrid stripe fishing, I just use some cheap $20 rods that are great.
Gotcha.
But I try to keep it as simple as possible.
It's a good strategy.
Because you're going to go through weights and hooks so much that you're just going to have to keep buying those because you're going to lose them. It's just part of it.
And so are you fishing with bait or are you fishing with lures?
Both.
Because I don't know. I don't fish a lot. And I don't know. You don't fish a lot.
Don't look at me.
Yeah. So you're talking to two basically novices. I've fished before, but, I know probably 3% of all fishing knowledge. So,
Right.
like act like we are.
If there's the amateur level and there's a level below that, I'm there.
That's us.
I'm there all day long. That's
So-
me.
Well, that's what I take out. So,
Perfect.
no, we
We need
you
the
know,
details.
It just depends, who wants to go fishing, because there's some people that fish a lot and they just want to go and change pace. They don't want to take their boat or something like that. And then there's people that don't really go fishing at all and want to go.
Interesting.
So sometimes there's a big learning curve, sometimes not so much. But yeah, I'll use live bait and artificials. It just depends. If you're not used to fishing all the time, we may start with bait. And teach you how to fish with artificial.
Okay.
It just depends on how much you want to learn.
I gotcha.
But I'll teach you as much as I know. It may not be a lot, but it's enough to get the job done.
That's all that matters. Putting fish in the boat. And
Exactly.
meat in the freezer.
Yep.
What else is there?
What you know, boss man?
I don't know anything. I'm just trying to spit stuff out here. Flying by the seat of my pants like usual.
That's how I live life.
That's how we roll.
Every day. That's what we're doing out here in this public
That's
land.
exactly what we're doing. We're winging it for sure.
Yeah. It's hard though when you're just throwing it 4,000 acres and say, here you go.
Yeah.
And you don't get to look at it until day one of opening season. 'Cause
Yeah.
you can only do so much with Onyx and all these base maps.
Yeah. And then all you can see with those is trees.
Exactly. You can't tell anything on this property, so you have to get out and drive around and walk
Yes.
miles.
That's the only way to do it, because you can only ATV trails. And then
Yep.
if you want to dive further deeper into it, you got to walk. And I don't know if you've seen this or not, but I've noticed it seems like it does not matter. There's no specified game trails that they take. There's just freaking tracks everywhere.
Just kind of wander around.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've had better luck. The first spot I sat at, I walked in about 300 yards and got in a little bit of clearing, but I was right on the edge of some thick underbrush. And as soon as I got in the stand, it seemed like almost all the deer I saw were in that thick underbrush. I didn't see a deer
Okay.
wandering out in the open at all. And so I don't know if
Maybe
that's
where we screwed up.
I don't know if, because I wanted to see, at least 100 yards so I could at least see deer.
Yes.
But that's what I did this afternoon, and, that didn't pay off. But I don't know. I'm going to change up my strategy come morning.
Yeah. I think we are too. Now that you say that, because the first spot that we sat, it was with just, leaves and dead wood
Yep.
on the ground where you could see far. Well, relatively far. And we were trying to avoid the tall grass because we wanted to actually see deer.
Yeah.
And we didn't see any deer, so that backfired. But yeah, it's tough out here for sure. So you said this is the second time you've hunted public land, or first?
Yeah, this is my, I guess, second time. I guess it's been about 5 or 6 years ago in college. Me and a buddy decided to go hunt some public land down by Lake Somerville. And it was probably 500 or 600 acres. But there was, no nearby towns, nothing close. It was kind of out there.
Right.
But it was walk-in. It wasn't draw hunts or nothing like that. No standby. It was a walk-in. So pretty much if you had a hunting license, you can walk in and hunt.
Okay.
And, well, of course, your, public hunting license, of course.
Yeah.
But, yeah, with that first day we went, there was 30 trucks
Oh, geez.
that first weekend, and we didn't know if we were going to come back because it was a 40-minute drive from our house.
Okay.
And we stuck with it. We kept going back, and it seemed like 30 trucks, and then the next weekend it'd be 15. It just dwindled down. People just got tired of going, but everybody was on top of each other.
Right.
And so they were like, we're not going to hunt this at all. Well, me and my buddy got to where it was just our truck and one other guy's truck. And after everything kind of settled down, I'd see like a nice buck just had a shooting range, and he shot 2 does, and I think he shot a pig or two, but kind of same deal. We didn't know anything about Onyx or base map or nothing like that back then.
Yeah.
So we were just going off what we saw, and it's kind of like out here. I don't want to walk more than 300 yards. I get out of breath.
Yeah, exactly. You can only walk so much, man.
But it was an experience.
Yeah.
It taught you. It's definitely hard. It's not easy by no means, but it taught me a little thing here or there. At least I got something out of it. But it kind of resembles this property here in some ways, just by looking at it. But yeah, I guess this is my second time. But this one's a draw hunt, so it's a little different.
Which I think is good because it does limit the amount of people that'll be out here.
Right. And they normally pick zones, and then this hunt they're not putting people in certain zones. There's not that many people.
Yeah. Well, I don't mind that.
Yeah, we've seen 3 different hunters this week.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Ever since we've been here, because we got here on the same day, and this hunt was technically from the 2nd to the 11th, but the season didn't start till the 3rd.
Right.
And this guy next to us here, he said that opening weekend was packed. He said it was. I guess everybody was here. Yeah. And he said he was actually kind of surprised, just like we were, to show up and there's 2 campers and 1 tent in the parking area. So I guess it dwindled down quite a bit.
Oh, you'll see a lot of them people come back this weekend though, for sure.
Yeah. Good thing we're leaving tomorrow then.
Yeah. Ready to get back home.
Yeah. Tired of sleeping on the ground. I've only slept on the ground one night.
Oh man, it was lumpy.
It's hard.
I think I slept better in my nap than I did last night.
Yeah, you conked out. I definitely slept better in the chair than I did.
Yeah, in the chair or in your pickup truck.
Or in the pickup truck. I might do that tonight, actually.
We'll see. I was about to take a nap in that climber.
I did that earlier too.
I've never used a climber before, this week, and I don't mind it.
Yeah.
It's pretty comfy.
It's comfy, but it is a pain in the neck. You can't get in a hurry.
Oh, no, not at all.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. One little slip.
We were talking in an episode we recorded, I guess, this afternoon, just about our initial impressions, everything coming out here, and how many firsts there were for us, because neither one of us before this trip had used a climber like that. So we get out there the first time, and we're briggle farting around out there trying to figure out how this thing works and how to use it.
I got mine, I think, 4 days ago.
You're in the same boat?
Yeah, I took it home, unboxed it, and I'm like, oh gosh. It took me an hour, just to figure out, how to, pack it together, to carry it in, and then once you get there, and actually putting it on a tree and then going up, and that first tree I hung it on, I put both of them level. So by the time I got up there, my feet was kind of slanted down.
Oh, okay.
I didn't compensate for once I got up the tree.
Right.
But yeah, it's nice. I can definitely sit in that stand for hours.
Yeah. Yeah, once you get it to where it needs to be and it's comfortable, you can sit in it for a long time. But if you have more than one guy, if you have a pack with you, or some equipment that you need to take up with you, and then your bow, and then you just have all this stuff, and you got to haul it all up there, which I guess it wouldn't be too hard if you just looped it all together and hauled it up. How did you get it to work?
So
being by yourself.
What I did at first was I would, of course, tie a string to that bottom of my climber, tie that to my bow, and then I put my backpack on. But once I got in the climber and tried to go up, when I used that top climber, that my bag would get in the way, and it would kind of prevent it from that cable from wanting to go up.
Okay.
So I had to take my pack off and basically strap it right in front of me, between me and the tree, so that I had clearance for my back so I could go up with it.
Yeah. I gotcha.
And that was about the only way, because I couldn't I have so much stuff in my backpack that I didn't want to put it on my bow and on that little bitty rope
Yeah.
and haul it up.
Right.
But that was the best way that I found. Now, if there's a better way, I'm sure there's a better way, but I hadn't found it yet.
Yeah.
Because with my 1 day experience.
Well, I'll tell you, the first time that we used it was rough, and then we just used them again. Well, I think we've used them twice since then.
Well, we
Three
went,
times total.
So the first setup we had was 2 trees right next to each other, so that we could each be in our own tree, which was
Okay.
nice.
Yeah.
But then this afternoon we were both in the same tree, me above you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that made it.
that made it a
more
little
difficult.
more interesting, and it changed our system for just getting stuff up there and hauling stuff a little bit more.
Yeah, because since I had the bow hanger on mine, I was the one hunting. I
Yeah.
would go up first
For the 2 stands
for the
setup.
2 tree setup. I would go up first, and then I would hoist everything up and hold everything, and then you'd come up, and then we would situate. But this time you had to go up first and literally hold everything.
Well, I also went higher than you thought I would
You
go.
went very high.
I went way up there, and you're over there looking at me like, you said to me, you're like, dude, why did you go so high?
I get about halfway up, and I'm like, okay, I'm almost there. I look up, like, oh my gosh, I'm only halfway.
Yeah, I was reading the fine print on my stand, and it said not to go higher than 15 feet.
Oh, crap.
And it felt like I went about 25 this afternoon.
I was
because
easily 30 in
I
that last
almost
tree.
ran out of rope to haul my bow up.
We did.
We had to tie some rope together. We had a, and I feel like I took a ratchet strap out there, and I feel like it's a pretty long ratchet strap.
It is. Yeah.
And we had to tie something.
We had to tie
another rope onto
rope or
that.
strap to that, and then your throwing skills suck.
Yeah,
so you couldn't get it up to me.
It took at least 6 throws to get it to you.
Yeah.
But in my defense, you were 30 feet up, so
Yeah, I didn't read the fine print on my stand.
I didn't either.
I did read the weight limit. That was about it.
We probably should have done a little research before we came out here. I didn't even watch a video.
You gotta start somewhere.
Yeah, that's true. We made it work, even though we didn't see any deer. But we made the stands work.
Yeah.
We can talk about your dove hunting a little bit. Your dove guiding.
Yeah. So
First year you've done that.
yeah. So this year was the first year that I did some dove hunts, and I contacted one of my old bosses, and has his own grain business, and got with him, and we worked something out, but he didn't give me the okay till about 2 weeks before season opened up, so I pretty much had to throw everything together, throw it out there, let everybody know, promote it. In 2 weeks, by that time, everybody's already got their place. Most people have their yearly place that they go to, and so what I did is I just did daily hunts. By the day, I just did the first 2 weekends, kind of see how it did.
Yeah.
And there was, for 2 weeks' notice, it wasn't a bad turnout.
Yeah, that's good.
I probably had 10 people a day.
Oh, that ain't
roughly.
bad at all.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
But the field that we were hunting over was just so big that we needed more people to keep them flying, and there was actually more birds than I'd anticipated, but just finding hunters that wanted to go was the problem. So I'm going to get a head start on it next year. Me and the landowner have already talked about that, so we're going to get that going again next year if anybody's interested.
Yeah, we might
We'll keep that in mind for
have
sure.
a couple customers here and go out there with you.
Yeah. The guys that I did have, a couple guys came from Dallas and Fort Worth, and they come out there and hunt. They're like, hey, we want to come back next weekend. I'm like, okay, yeah, sure.
There you go.
They're like, yeah, we went to somewhere else the day before and saw 3 birds.
That's usually
they come here
usually
and
a
shot,
par for
10 or so or whatever. So for people like that are just looking for a good place to go, it's not bad.
Yeah.
It was there's a lot of birds.
That's good. That's the boat I'm in. We used to have a place, but we had a little issue with the neighbor or whatever. But So now we don't have a place anymore.
Yeah.
And so even the place we did go to, excuse me, it was you'd see a couple birds in the morning, and it was like they might be on the other side of the field,
Right.
you know. So there's no shooting at them at all. But I got a nice new shotgun last year, so I need to put it to work a little bit.
Oh yeah. What'd you get?
Stoger M3500.
Okay. I see you.
So need to put it to work.
You put it to work anything like that ritual, and you'll be smoking them.
That's a good point.
Yeah, you almost shot that ritual every hunt except for this afternoon.
Yeah.
He's killed 3 pigs this year already.
Yeah.
I haven't.
And
We're
this
not
week.
even a weekend.
Yeah, this
We
week.
ain't even a weekend.
So.
I haven't even drew first blood with mine yet.
Oh
I
really?
haven't even shot at anything.
Man.
It's just there for looks, I guess. Just hang it up
Hey,
and stare
there
at
you
it.
go.
It's like we said this morning. We don't have to know what we're doing as long as we look good. You know,
Yeah.
that's all.
Rule
that really,
number one.
That's rule number one. Always look good.
Always look good.
Yeah, you look good, you shoot good. I mean,
Fact.
in theory.
Fact.
But, I mean, I'm going to keep going until it doesn't work.
There you go.
But,
So what does the future hold for Redline Guide Service?
man, I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. It's early. You know, we only got a year or two. Long ways to go. We'll see. Hopefully one day we can expand and do something different.
Yeah. One
Always
day
room.
you'll be looking back at these days and be wishing you could go. Come on, man.
Sorry. Still dealing with that, guys. Sorry.
He's been dealing with some tummy issues
Oh, well,
this trip.
Mm-hmm.
Got his own personal grunt call in the stand.
Dang right.
that's why I've shot so many pigs.
That's why we ain't seen no deer either.
Yeah, running them all off. But man, I think one day you'll be looking back at these days and wishing you could go back. So
Yeah. Oh, man,
When
remember
you're-
those days I
you're
hunted
big
that public
time.
land, saw a deer in 3 days?
Saw one deer. Yeah, exactly.
No, it's still fun. Yeah, I was actually surprised y'all were going to be here because you got drawn.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, I guess both of you got drawn. Did y'all do it as a group?
I'm just here.
He's
Oh, you're
just
just
here.
here. Okay.
Yeah, he's just
So
tagging along.
Okay, so yeah, I just showed up. So,
Yeah, and that was something new that I learned from you, because I didn't know there even was a standby. So
I didn't either until probably 2 weeks ago. A buddy of mine said, hey, why don't you just go up there and be on standby?
mm-hmm.
And I'm like, what is that? Like, you're going to have to explain to me what standby is.
Right.
Because I'd never heard it. You know, I've hunted public land before, but this is the first year I've dealt with draw hunts.
Same.
And I don't know hardly anything about draw hunts. And he said, well, what happens is whatever hunt that they put on, like this one's, 9 days or something like
Yeah.
that, is they'll draw what, I think for this property, which it's 3,800 acres, I think they draw 30 names. And you may have 20 that show up. And so what you can do is you can just show up. Of course, you got to buy your annual public hunting license, but you can just show up. There's basically 10 spots available. So if you got, 10 spots available and there's 4 guys that come on standby, all of you get to hunt.
Right.
Now, if there's
It's a pretty sweet deal.
20 people that show up that got drawn and there's 15 that show up on standby, they're going to draw names for those standby people just to fill that 30.
Right.
But it's not a bad gig. I mean, it didn't cost me nothing. I just showed up.
Yeah, and also because I came expecting to use my own tags, and I don't know if
Right.
they usually do that or if they usually have their own tags that they use, or if
So what I
maybe this is
heard
different.
is this year is, I think, the first. Well, this is from a very reliable source.
Mhm.
This is the first year that they've done that. I think it's for this unit and one other unit. They're giving out tags, so you don't use your hunting license tag, those tags on that at all. So we're allowed 2 deer.
Mhm.
It can be one buck that's 15 inches or wider.
Yep.
And then you can choose spike or 2 does, a spike and a doe, whatever. Now, if you come back to the hunt in 2 weeks or whatever it is,
Yeah,
I think it's the 17th,
something like that.
something
yeah.
like that. You can show up then on standby And if you get picked, say you shoot if you were to shoot a doe or a big buck tomorrow, you could come back in 2 weeks and shoot another big buck because you're not using your tags.
Right.
You're using
Right.
the state's tags. So you have the potential of shooting multiple different bucks.
Yeah.
Or does or whatever you want to shoot. But yeah, that's what I heard. I heard this is the first year that they've done that.
Yeah, because I didn't expect that at all. I was expecting to come down here, and if I did shoot a deer, I was going to use my tag. And so then during that orientation, the mandatory orientation we had to go to, he was like, "You will not be using your tags." He was like, "We have tags that you just fill out, do this, blah blah blah."
Right.
And I was like, "Oh, sweet." So I guess you could, because they have 4 date slots that you could potentially draw for, come on standby.
Yes.
I mean, you could shoot 2 deer per slot. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yeah, I mean, you could. Yeah, I mean, if you had a really good spot here,
Right,
you could shoot,
yeah.
Up to 8 deer in 2 months.
Yeah. It's not a bad deal. For free. You
No,
don't even have to
exactly.
I mean, not for free. You still have to pay for your license and the annual public land hunting permit, but that's pretty cheap cost for 8 deer.
Yeah, it's not bad at all if we can just hang the stands in the right spot.
I was gonna say you gotta see the 8 deer first to be able to shoot them.
Right.
I'm about to launch one at 100 yards if I see him.
I was tempted tonight. If I saw one, it was a long shot. I was gonna fling an arrow for sure. Well, man, that's all I got. If you don't have anything else you want to add, we can close her out.
That's all I got.
Sam, anything else?
Well, we need to hit Dillon with our rapid fire questions.
Oh yeah, I'll let you do that because I can never remember them.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, I'm nervous.
They're pretty easy, I guess.
It's not hard.
Is it like legit rapid fire? Like I
No.
gotta answer really fast?
No.
Oh, what's the fun in that?
It's just what we call them, okay?
want, but
All right, so first question. After that finishes,
you never know how long they're gonna last. They could be.
some of them go pretty long. Okay, we're good now. All right, so first question. What is your favorite hunting or fishing memory and why?
Oh man, there's just so many.
Everybody freaking
Everybody
says that.
says that, and they say the same thing for the next question too.
Yeah.
Best hunting or fishing
Or
memory.
it doesn't have to be the best, just a memorable one that comes to mind.
Yeah.
I guess it'd be my first bow hunt. Yeah, me and my dad, we went way down southwest Texas somewhere. I don't even know if there was a town nearby. And we went by with another guy. He had a buddy, and then his son. He was a year older than me. And it was like a ram hunt that we went on, and
Okay.
Yeah.
so we stayed there in like this old, beat up, single wide that you're scared to sleep in. And so we get up, go out there in the morning, and me and my buddy that was with me, there's a hill that you gotta climb up. Well, we climbed up that hill, and then my dad and his friend, they're dying because, they don't get any kind of exercise at all. And they got to stop and, crack a cold one before they proceed. And so we keep going, and anyway, the story goes on. We go back to camp, and there was a ram that was almost right behind the house. And my buddy and his dad, they went around and put a good stalk on him, and they shot him. But anyways, that afternoon, somebody, I guess from camp, said, "Hey, there's a group right over there." Like, we just got back from hunting. And so we walked over there, and me and my dad are walking, and we see them. They're just about to go up the cliff there. And I had a window, maybe the size of a watermelon to shoot through.
Okay.
And about 25, 30 yards, and just smoked him. I mean, you hear him go about 10 feet up that hill and just come down crashing.
That's awesome.
But it was fun. It was my first bow kill, so I'll never forget that. And it was with my dad, so I'll always have that memory. So that's probably my most memorable. Probably my first bow kill, because I'm not going to remember my first fish I caught.
Yeah.
Or anything like that.
Sure. That's cool. That's a good one.
That's probably my favorite.
That's awesome. All right, well, next question. What is a bucket list hunt or fishing trip that you have not gotten to do yet that you really want to? Our questions are hard, I know.
Yeah.
I've probably got just about every fishing trip I want to take. But there's not as many hunting trips that I would say I'd really want to go on. But I think one of my dream hunts would be to go to New Zealand and red stag and a bow kill.
Yeah.
That'd probably be one of mine.
That's a good one.
Top of the list there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that'd be it.
All right, third and final question. We'll go relevant to your guide service here. If you had to give one piece of advice to somebody fishing down these parts, a newer guy like us just starting out, what would it be?
Stick with it. Because you're not going to, every day's different.
Yeah.
It's just like hunting, it's fishing, it's not catching every day. So you just got to stick with it, because there was times way back when that I got skunked a lot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But as long as you take something from that, what do I need to do different? And then learn from it, and then just keep pretty much moving forward. But fishing's tough. There's so many. It's just like hunting. There's so many different factors to consider. But if you stick with it, you learn something this time, and you carry that to the next time you go out, and this may work better for you. It's just, I don't know. Stick with it. Don't give up.
That's good.
That's pretty much the best thing you can do.
Yeah.
That's good. You heard it here, folks. Stick with it. From a professional guide himself.
Amateur. At best.
Well, guys, I appreciate y'all joining me for this podcast.
And
we threw it together. I'm talking to you two.
Oh, yeah, thanks.
I thought you were talking to them.
Sorry, miscommunication.
Them too, yeah.
But yes, it is a pleasure.
Well, Sam and Dillon, thank you for joining me on this podcast. It was thrown together kind of last minute, but I think it worked out. I think it's going to be a good podcast.
Yeah, man.
Dillon, thanks for being here.
Thank y'all.
Appreciate it, buddy.
Thank y'all for the
Thanks
invite.
for being willing to stay a little bit later and do this.
Hang out in deer camp.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I'll get yelled at too bad.
That's good. Good. Tell her we're sorry.
She's a good one. She'll stick around, I hope.
That's good. That's good.
Let's hope.
Good deal.
All right, guys. That is it for this Follow Up Session podcast. Thank you guys for listening. As always, go check out followupsession.com. That is the hub. That's where all of our content is at. You can check it all out there. We have our podcasts are there. You can check out, we got articles up there, all kinds of videos, our flagship series, Follow Obsessed Outdoors. You can go there and check that out as well. Go follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Subscribe to our YouTube. Subscribe to this podcast pretty much anywhere you can listen to a podcast. Dillon, why don't you tell them real quick where they can find you at?
You can find me on Facebook on Redline Guide Service. You can Facebook message me, call. My phone number's on there. You can text me, whatever works best. But that's the best way to get a hold of me.
There you go. If y'all want to go fishing here in Texas, call Dillon at Redline Guide Service.
Yeah, give him a shout. Don't forget about our giveaway too, guys, right now.
Mm-hmm.
If it hadn't wrapped up, it's about to, so get in while you can. Our Elite Cure giveaway. We're giving away a free bow from Elite Archery. So head on over to our Facebook or Instagram page. The post is from October 2nd, and all the instructions are there. You can enter to win a free bow. So,
not a bad deal.
Nope.
Free is always good. No strings attached, except for the bowstrings. See what I did there?
I see what I did there.
Good one.
That was
all right,
cheesy.
guys. I'll let y'all go. Thanks for listening again. Catch you later.
See you later.